Всем привет. Посмотрите на фото этого человека. Его зовут Деррин Хинч, репортер газеты The Sydney Morning Herald. Уверен, что многие из вас вообще ничего не слышали о нем. Давно это было. Если вы ничего об этом человеке не слышали и не знаете, кто это, то вы удачно зашли, сейчас немного узнаете. Деррину Хинчу было всего 25 лет, когда его отправили освещать самое грандиозное событие, которое когда-либо увидят люди. Запуск Аполлона-11 направил молодого газетного журналиста в новое русло карьеры, впервые позволив его голосу доноситься до австралийцев по радио, на их кухнях и в гостиных. Хинч входил в небольшую группу журналистов, которые стояли всего в нескольких метрах от Нила Армстронга, Майкла Коллинза и Олдрина, когда астронавтов выводили на показ перед запуском. Из воспоминаний Деррина Хинча. Я помню, как 3 астронавта Аполлона-11 вышли в своих белых скафандрах и шлемах-капсулах, неся с собой портфели с оборудованием жизнеобеспечения. Там были их семьи, друзья и высокопоставленные сотрудники НАСА. Некоторые аплодировали, но многие плакали. Мы все думали, что эти храбрые люди, возможно, никогда не вернутся. Но все равно оставалось непреодолимое чувство волнения. Эти люди направляются на Луну. Под подписью Хинча на первой полосе газеты The Sydney Morning Herald от 17 июля 1969 года красуется строчка: «Всего 3 человека предпринимают самое смелое путешествие в истории человечества, но мир участвовал в его начале». На трибунах, расположенных примерно в 5 километрах от места событий, Хинч, на тот момент новичок в радиовещании, говорил с отрывистым, почти британским акцентом по потрескивающей телефонной линии в сиднейскую радиостудию 2GB, чтобы транслировать старт в прямом эфире для более чем 50 станций по всей Австралии. Хинч помнит шум, тепло трубки у его уха под 37-градусным солнцем Флориды и пот, льющийся со лба его коллег. Когда ракета тяжело взмыла в небо и ударная волна достигла нас, я почувствовал себя так, словно меня ударили бейсбольной битой в живот, вспоминает Хинч. Шум, энергия были настолько мощными. Помню, как меня так захватило, что я чуть не выругался матом. Я споткнулся и, наконец, сказал: «Это абсолютная красота». Он описал крики очевидцев: «Вперед, вперед, вперед, красавица, вперед!» А затем, сделав паузу, направил телефон на толпу и крикнул в трубку: «Вы, наверное, меня почти не слышите, но я просто позволю вам послушать шум». В тот знаменательный день, 16 июля 1969 года, комментарий Деррина Хинча был лучшим. Он был настолько хорош, что даже вошел в альбом, выпущенный на виниловой пластинке новостным подразделением Macquarie Broadcasting Service. На фотографии представлена пластинка под названием «Самое одинокое путешествие». Запись о величайшем приключении человечества, миссии Аполлон-11. Предлагаю вам окунуться в тот июльский день 1969 года и хоть на мгновение прикоснуться к величайшему достижению человечества, самому одинокому путешествию. А точнее к его началу, к старту ракеты Сатурн-5, миссии Аполлон-11 с комментарием Деррина Хинча.
Everything is now ready at Cape Kennedy. In the studios here at 2GB is the head of news programs, Braian Uайт. Waiting at the Cape is our correspondent, Dеррин Хинч of The Sun.
Hello, Dеррин. This is Braian Uайт. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear, Brian.
What's the story, Dеррин?
Well, Brian, it's hard to believe that this is really it. It's now what? It's just over 3 minutes, and 3 men will actually go to the moon. I know we've talked about it for so long, and I guess millions of words have been written about this day, but it's still almost impossible to believe that right out there in front of me there are 3 men strapped into their seats at the top of that huge rocket. And I mean, it's a really huge rocket, and it'll send them where man's never been before. Just to fill you in on the latest picture, Brian, it's now 3 minutes and 25 seconds before blast-off. The astronauts went on board at 9 o'clock your time, and they spent their final 2.5 hours checking out all the systems. I saw them leave their quarters and head for the launch pad a while ago, and frankly, except for their Buck Rogers outfits, you'd never have known that these brave men were actually going to the moon. If you had a look at the crowd, though, you could have seen what a serious business it was. The astronauts themselves were waving and giving the thumbs up sign, and they were smiling, but some people revealed the true emotion that shadows this whole shot. They were crying, and I'll have to admit that when the door to the van closed behind those men, and they drove off for the last time before they come back, a shiver went down my spine too.
Dерrин, tell us, what's the atmosphere like there at the moment?
Well, I've been here since around midnight. We had to come out that early because it was the traffic is so bad that you couldn't have got out here otherwise, and we were scared we'd miss the whole shot. There are more than 1 million people watching the shot, according to the Department of Defense, but the tempo's really picked up in the last hour or so. It gets you right in the pit of the stomach now. It really does. You can feel it. The people now are lining up. Even all the journalists, have seen a heck of a lot of big stories. Nothing can beat this one, and I doubt that there's a person who could be cynical enough to say that it's just another rocket. It really is the big one.
Darren, what's the weather conditions like there this morning?
Well, they've really turned on some Florida weather for us. I'm sitting here under the open sun in a sort of a press stand, which is 3 miles across the water from the rocket. And the sun's really beating down on us. I guess it's close to 100 degrees now. In fact, it's so hot I can hardly hold the telephone receiver. And you've got 3,500 very sweaty journalists down here at the moment, I can tell you.
Darren, you've got about 1 minute and 40 seconds or so before blast-off. What would you say is the most dangerous point coming up immediately?
Well, the biggest, most dangerous thing of the whole thing after the blast-off, and you have to remember that 3 men once died in an Apollo mission, that was Apollo 1. That's when they try to blast off from the moon to come back, because if they don't reach 50,000 feet and their engine can only fire once, it means that they must crash land on the moon. They have to reach 50,000 feet for Michael Collins and the command module to be able to swoop down and rescue them. He said he can come down to 50,000 feet, but then there are big mountains that flow, and he can't come down any lower. So that's the big crucial thing of the mission to watch. Now, right now, Brian, it's 1 minute and 1 second. We're going into the final countdown on man's flight to the moon, and it's just absolutely incredible here. The rocket is just raring to go. It's 50 seconds now until man takes off on this flight, and frankly, I just can hardly describe to you the excitement and the tension and the feeling of goosebumps that, well, this time we're really going, and it starts a whole new phase of man's life. Down to 31 seconds, 30 seconds. We've got so little time now before we finally take off. It'll lift off very slowly at first. Ignition will come at 8 seconds probably, and there are these big sort of brake things which will hold it down until we get to 0, and then it will take off very slowly. So slowly you think it's going to fall over. Now I'll give you the final countdown.
Righto, Darren, take it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have the ignition sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and the flames, you can see them now, and she's ready to go. It's starting to move, and if you can hear the noise, you can probably hardly hear me, but there she goes, and it's pulling away from the tower. They're yelling, go, 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 you beaut, and now you'll hear the rumble. The stand that I'm sitting in is shaking, the lights in the stand are shaking, and there it goes. It's incredible, this huge white flame, there's smoke all around this thing. I'll just let you listen for a second to the noise. The people are on their feet now saying, go you beauty, go, and here it comes now, this roar. And we can still see it, it's gone into a very small patch of cloud. It's going to become clear again now. Where there we go, it's firing along. It's an absolute beauty. You can still hear that sound. I know that as long as I live, I am never going to see anything quite like this one. The Americans have really done it, I have to tell you that. The smoke's clearing a bit from around the old gantry where she went from, but everything's fine. She's peering off now, and it's really on the move. So that's about it, Brian. I guess I'll hand you over to Voice of America now. They'll have the details of when that first stage separates and when the next stage and where she's going. We're finally losing a little bit of the sound, so I'll say goodbye to you, Brian, and to your people in Sydney from Cape Kennedy.
Darren, thank you for a wonderful call. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, goodbye.
Now we cross to the Voice of America.
8 miles downrange, 12 miles velocity, 4,000 feet per second.
About another minute for these main engines to burn.
Mode 1, Charlie. Mode 1, Charlie.
Right into the sun.
We're taking the staging status. Houston, you are go for staging.
Go for staging, meaning that the first stage is completing its burn and that the second stage rockets are ready to ignite. We can see a great contrail as it's going through the stratosphere. Inboard engines have cut out. We're waiting for the outboard or outside engines to go off. We will be able to see that if we can get a view beyond the very
5 miles, 30 miles high, standing by for the outboard engine cut down now.
It's hard to see because the sun is shining right at us. It's almost going past the sun from our viewpoint here. There it was. There was staging. We can see it from the ground. That was Armstrong reporting staging and ignition. And you can see it. You can still see it burning.
Urban Houston, thrusters go. All engines are looking good.
Brilliantly clear day. We can still see it.
Downrange 70 miles.